We have got one heck of a snowstorm moving through the Great Lakes. It's dropping heavy snow now moving into Ontario. But here's the thing. We've got the next round already lining up. And this is looking stronger to me as we head into the evening hours, getting into Tuesday, or really Monday night into Tuesday. That's when we're going to see the development here off the coast. And it could be a full-fledged nor'easter. We're going to dive into those details and talk about what that means. And behind this, I think we've got more stormy weather ahead. The upper level pattern signifying that, look, this is going to stay active as we head into the next couple of weeks. I think December is going to be pretty wild to start, and we're already feeling that a little bit. Here comes the energy through the Great Lakes now that's causing the snow and the rain for some of you, and that's moving east. There'll also be a little bit of ice. We'll talk about that across parts of the Appalachians. And now we're starting to see our next system take shape across the west. This is where it gets interesting. This dives in. Look at the jet streak that starts to pick up. There you go. So with that lift starting to happen in the mid and upper levels, surface low pressure is going to it's going to develop. I mean, this is a textbook setup. Boom, there you go. And that could dump some heavy snow. We're going to talk about that again. It's a pretty complicated setup. This is happening right now. The snow's falling. If you're chiming into the chat, good evening, everyone. If you're catching the live stream and it's later, the great thing is about these videos, you can always catch them whenever. So we'll keep it brief tonight and we'll roll pretty quickly. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Travis. I used to be a chief meteorologist. I worked in the TV business for years, but I've been out of that. But I always say on the channel, once you're a weather geek, you're always a weather geek. You can't get away from it. So if you're interested in weather and forecasting and meteorology, I hope you'll subscribe. Come back, guys. Join the community. I always love hearing from you guys in the chat. The snow continues to lift north as we head into early Sunday morning. It's going to get heavy, too, into parts of Ontario. So look, Windsor up to London, Toronto, the snow is going to pick up. We're going to start to see that snow back off, though, across Wisconsin and Minnesota. It's going to start to turn a little bit breezy out of the northwest now versus the easterly winds that we've seen today. And now we look to the south. It's cold enough here into the Appalachians for a little bit of freezing rain. There are a few winter weather advisories out here as this overrunning moisture moves in, so that could cause some travel problems early Sunday morning up and down the I-81 corridor, possibly into parts of West Virginia as well. Once we get into tomorrow, the snow calming down around the Great Lakes, a little bit of lake effect behind this, and then we'll see things start to get a little bit quieter, but we're already seeing signs of the next snow starting to take shape across Missouri, Iowa. Again, more snow on the way for you guys with this next one. This is the NAM taking it out into Monday. I'm going to let it go just a little bit. I mean, it's getting kind of aggressive this evening. This is the 18Z run. I'm going to tell you, this isn't the most favorable time frame for the NAM, but this is Storm 2. Look at the date above my head. We've got more snow on the way. Further to the north and east, let's track this snow as it moves into Canada. A lot of my Canadian friends have been joining the channel, so glad you're watching. This is mostly a U.S.-based forecast, but hey, if there's impactful weather up here, someone made a joke the other... actually, I don't know if they were joking or if they were serious in the chat, or maybe it was in the comments. They said, hey, the weather doesn't stop at the border, but it was the National Weather Service warnings. They don't go into Canada. Okay. Anyway, and this is the NAM, by the way. It stops here. So anyway, we'll continue to push this north into Canada. So snow from Montreal over to Ottawa. And then we'll see that snow lift even further to the north and east. This is a different look, and this is also going to show our nor'easter, how it's going to track. Snow increasing further to the north and east. No snow down towards Nova Scotia, out to Newfoundland. We're talking about just some rain, but there will be more snow the further north you go. And then here comes that system, which will end up being our nor'easter. We'll dive into the northeast a little bit closer, but boy, that could really bomb here into Nova Scotia as that nor'easter lifts away. Okay, let's take it day by day, and we'll zoom in a little bit closer here. So I'm going to flip over to the maps, and that way you can follow along. And we're going to walk through this storm in order. There goes our low now that's bringing the snow across a lot of the Midwest and the Great Lakes into southeast Canada. We're bringing some snow back into the Rockies. This looks, again, pretty innocent at this point, but it's going to drive off to the east. All right, here we go into Monday afternoon and into the evening. The main disturbance across the Central Plains, it starts to slide east. So you can see the rain starting to break out across the south. We've got a streak of snow starting to break out on the northern side of that as well. By Monday night, there's a shallow layer of cold air also locked in here on the east face of the Appalachians. So as that moisture moves through, that leftover cold air is probably going to set the stage for an initial freezing rain threat event here. And this could be a little more significant than what we're going to see as we head into Sunday morning All right, this continues to lift up to the north and east, and this is where things get really interesting. Early Tuesday morning, as the precipitation continues to expand north, that snow now moving back into places where we're seeing snow now, into Michigan. Not nearly as heavy, though, across Indiana, Ohio. This is a little bit further to the south, though. Look at this, into Kentucky. Some light snow possible out of this. And now we're looking to areas north and east of this. By early Tuesday morning, that precipitation starts to expand north and east, so we're looking at the areas north and west, I think, of I-95, from northern Virginia to northern Maryland into southeast PA. There could be some snow. Now, once you get towards Philadelphia, that's going to be a problem. I'm not sure how much mix we see. It's going to be very difficult to pin that down. I think we need some shorter range models. It's Saturday. We're forecasting for Tuesday. Honestly, we're talking about probably at best Monday, you start really dialing in those lines of rain and snow. But the idea is here on all the big global models. This continues to drive up to the north as we now head into late Tuesday. Well, we're into Tuesday afternoon now, into Tuesday evening. So by midday Tuesday, we start to bring in the next player, and that's this shortwave trough that starts to swing through the Great Lakes. This is some colder air aloft. And as this approaches the coast, we're going to see this develop our area of low pressure. And that energy is going to sharpen this coastal low, really help define what's happening here and get it going. By Tuesday evening, again, higher elevations west of I-95 into the Poconos. We're going to see that snow going here into southern New York, Connecticut. I think Connecticut is in the game here anyway. Okay, let's watch it, but I think you got to watch this point in time. But the big metro corridor, D.C., Baltimore, Philly, maybe New York City, it's probably going to start as snow. There's some mix showing up here, and then as our low gets a little bit closer, we'll likely flip over to rain as some warm air gets influenced here, or as the warm air influences the coastal regions, and that's going to, of course, cause big forecasting issues. Back towards the Appalachians, though, as we head into Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening, that freezing rain will likely continue a little bit longer. That could be a big problem into eastern West Virginia, western Maryland, into the Shenandoah Valley. Some areas may flirt with a quarter of an inch if the cold air can hold on long enough. And I'm talking about a quarter of an inch of freezing rain and ice. And then by, again, Tuesday night, the coastal low starts to take shape and then race away to the northeast, shutting down the precipitation in the mid-Atlantic, while the interior areas of the Northeast into New England see the snow start to wind down as well, and everything starts to taper off. Now, that's just one particular run. This is the GFS, which is much more aggressive with this system. Everything pretty much in place, right? You've got your ice showing up here across the Virginias here, West Virginia, Virginia, even as far south as North Carolina, and then a stronger shield of snow showing up as this moves across the plains toward the Great Lakes. Very interesting to see this as we head into Tuesday morning. The GFS is much stronger here as this 500 millibar shortwave moves to the east. Also, remember, I showed you the jet stream. We've got some pretty strong winds here, and that's going to help to drive this surface area of low pressure developing. It's going to rapidly deepen that coastal low as we head into Tuesday afternoon, right off of the Delmarva, it looks like anyway, and then move to the northeast. Again, even the GFS is showing coastal rain, but it's got some heavy snow here into a lot of New England. Could be your first big snow of the year. I'm going to let this roll out in time, and then we're going to back it up, and we'll look at the snow numbers here. More cold moving south as we head into Thursday and Friday. And check it out, the GFS, again, I say what you will about the GFS. It is what it is. Sometimes I call it the goofus, but I'm just going to tell you right now, regardless if we see some sort of system by next weekend, this pattern is very active, and I don't know that this is going to really settle down much over the next couple of weeks. Let's talk about the snow totals, though, as we head into what's left of the weekend into the first of the week. This is the snow as we are dealing with this low that's moving away across southeast Canada, a couple of inches here. Montreal, it's going to be really close, but get north of that, some decent snow accumulation also here into the northeast. A lot of this snow back here has already fallen, depending on when you're watching this. And again, some of that snow could get heavy further to the north and east up here into eastern Canada. But take a look at this. This is the European really trying to crush the coastal areas with some heavy snow. This is the 2-day totals on the GFS from Wednesday. So go 2 days before the date above my head. So this kind of is taking out what's fallen so far. Clearly the GFS is the heaviest model here, dumping close to 6 inches from southern PA up to Allentown, up to Poughkeepsie. I'm trying to think of some of these cities here. Springfield, Mass., and then up into western Mass, and then southern New Vermont, southern New Hampshire, and then into down East Maine. Close to 6 to 10 inches of snow on the new GFS. Very interesting to see that. Look at the European. It's just like, what snowstorm? What are you talking about? This is the 12Z run. Clearly not as strong and not showing as much snow as what we were looking at on the GFS. This is the 18Z run of the European. It's trended snowier. I would almost throw the midday run away with the bathwater. I'm just going to throw it out and go, I don't know. It's kind of weird looking to me. If you look at the Ensemble guidance, which is what I like to forecast on, this is the chance of seeing more than an inch or more than 3 inches of snow. Clearly, all of this up here is falling right now. I can't take this out on this particular map, but this is the European Ensemble guidance, and look at this streak that's showing up. That's showing more than 60 to 70% chance of seeing more than 3 inches. It's growing, okay? And then if you drop this down to an inch just to kind of see, you get the idea that there's going to be some more snow off to the further to the south and west. This is the 18Z run. Let's go back to the midday run. There you go. And look beyond this. I mean, it looks snowy. I'm just saying. That's the Ensemble guidance. Multiple chances for that. And then this is looking back across the central U.S. Not as much snow back here, and it never looked like it was going to be. But either way, a little bit of snow on the way. Let's start across the west. We'll zoom in a little bit closer, and we'll take you through the next couple of days. We've got quite a bit of cold air moving down the front range here, and that's going to continue to push all the way down into Texas. It's not going to get snowy in Texas, though. We're going to watch this snow move through Colorado, where we've been quite dry. So a little bit of snow on the way here, and then this moves off to the east. Here's a quick look at your snow totals across the west. High snow will be into the Wasatch. Not a lot, where it's been very snow drought stricken. I guess, I don't even know if that's a term, but either way. And into Colorado, too. If it weren't for snowmaking, many of these resorts wouldn't be doing anything right now. Quite a bit of snow to the northeast, though. We'll show you that in just a second. Even more is on the way. Cold along the front range down into Colorado, into the teens and 20s. Highs tomorrow, barely getting above zero across the Dakotas. You can see that cold push all the way down into Texas. I want to show you something. I was looking at this earlier. Maybe it was for Sunday, so let me back it up. Look at these highs on Sunday. So you go up here. Oh, no, I guess it was into Monday. I apologize. If this was recorded, I would cut all that out. It was Monday. We're starting to see some downsloping flow here across the Canadian Rockies. Get up towards Edmonton. It's into the close to 30 degrees, almost as warm as it is down here into Oklahoma and Kansas. So some pretty cold air working its way down across the central U.S. behind the system as we head into Sunday and Monday. High pressure building in across the plains and across the Mississippi Valley. Here comes the streak of snow, though, moving out across Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri. We've got some snow on the way. If you didn't get it this time, I think there's a chance you get a little bit with this system as it kicks off to the east. So really it's split at this point. We've not combined the upper level trough and this energy to the south, but we will eventually as it gets close to the coast. A little more snow again in Illinois and Indiana, and this moves up pretty quickly and then quiet through the middle part of the week with a little more snow across the far southwest and rain as we end up with another disturbance moving through. And then check this out. By Friday and Saturday, I mean, more activity. I just think it's going to be, again, as I said, quite active over the next couple of weeks. There's that cold pushing all the way into the south on Sunday. There's a look at your highs, barely getting to 40 in Dallas with some cold conditions. I mean, it could be much colder, I know, but you're definitely cold across the upper Midwest with all of that snow on the ground, especially across Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, into Michigan. Very chilly. And here's a closer look at the east. This is where the snow's headed into southeast Canada. Rain to the south, again, starting us some mixed precipitation into the Appalachians, up along the I-81 corridor into western Maryland, Hagerstown, up into the panhandle of West Virginia. This scours out pretty quickly, and we also see some of that snow shift over to rain into parts of Pennsylvania, and then we'll turn cold again behind this, and we'll see the snow pick back up off the Great Lakes with some lake effect snow. Here comes the system. A closer look. We'll end with this. Starting as freezing rain across the southern Appalachians. This could be impactful. Again, too early for any winter storm watches. Would not be surprised if we start to see some kind of products come out as we head into, well, let's see, it's Sunday, maybe Sunday night, and then into Monday. So more to come. As the confidence grows, you'll probably start to see some sort of products or something happen. And then low pressure developing on the European. It's a little bit further from the coast. Doesn't put nearly as much snow here into the Northeast. That's why those numbers were quite a bit lower. This was the midday run. If you were to pop over to the GFS, which I'm going to tell you, the European kind of trended over toward it a little bit, it's a lot more aggressive with a stronger low. I mean, look at this. This thing is almost moving right across Cape Cod versus the European, which is more like out here near the benchmark, out near the 40-degree north, 70-degree west line benchmark, if you will. Either way, a decent system to watch. And then behind this, a cold front that could usher in some pretty cold Arctic air. And then I showed this earlier today. Oh, boy. Yeah, I've had some folks in the Carolinas waiting on some snow for, 3 or 4 years now. This is the midday GFS run. I want to show you this. We went from there. If you saw the 18Z run, you were going, oh, my gosh. Yeah, this is going to go all over the place. We're talking about Friday. It's also the GFS, too. If you pop over to the European during the same time frame, this would be the late evening run. Let's go back to the midday run. The interesting thing is it may not look the same, but it does have a system moving through during that time frame. In my opinion, something to watch. All right, if you made it this far, it means maybe you are a weather geek like me. I hope you'll subscribe, come back, join the chat. Always love hearing from you. Let me know if it's snowing where you are. Let me know how much you ended up with, because I surely hear it when you get ripped off and you didn't get it. High rip-off. I think there's a high rip-off threat with this snow, too, that's coming into the Northeast heading into Tuesday, especially on the southern side of this, depending on the track. So, see you next time.